November 30th, 2024. Day 335 of 366. A message of hope, light, strength, and comfort. Dear child of God. Today, as we near the end of another year, take a deep breath and allow these words to wash over you. God sees you, loves you, and is present in every moment of your life. Whether you find yourself on a mountaintop or in the valley of shadows, His promise remains. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. When you felt at your lowest, God was your hope. When life seemed the darkest, He became your light. When you were weak, He was your strength, and when sadness filled your heart, He comforted you. Today, let His voice speak to your soul, reassuring you of His presence and purpose for your life. At your lowest, God is your hope. Perhaps you've faced seasons where you felt completely drained, unable to muster the energy to move forward. The days felt endless, the nights lonely, and the hope you once clung to seemed like a distant memory. Yet even in those moments, God whispered His promises over you. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. Even when your circumstances appeared hopeless, God was weaving a tapestry of restoration. What seemed like the end was merely a bend in the road, a divine detour leading you toward greater things. God's hope is not based on fleeting circumstances, but on His eternal promises. Take heart in knowing that the same God who carried you through your darkest days has not changed. Just as He was your hope in the past, He is your hope today and will be your hope tomorrow. Every challenge, every setback, every tear has a purpose in His grand design for your life. At your darkest, God is your light. There are times when life feels overshadowed by darkness. You may find yourself in a season where clarity feels elusive, and the path ahead is obscured. Yet, even in the deepest night, God's light shines brightly, guiding you toward His truth and love. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119 verse 105. His light is not just a beacon in the distance, it's a steady flame that illuminates each step you take. Even when you don't understand the journey, trust that He sees the end from the beginning. His light not only guides you but also dispels the fears that arise from uncertainty. Let God's light fill every corner of your heart today. Allow it to chase away the shadows of doubt, fear, and regret. He is not only the light for your path but the source of warmth and love that will sustain you through any trial. At your weakest, God is your strength. There are moments when the weight of life feels too heavy to bear. Perhaps you've faced days when getting out of bed seemed like a monumental task, or when your inner reserves of courage and resilience seemed completely depleted. In those moments, God steps in, not as a distant observer, but as your divine source of strength. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. Your weakness is not a limitation, it's an invitation for God to work mightily in your life. When you acknowledge your need for Him, you make room for His power to operate in ways that defy human understanding. He lifts the burdens you were never meant to carry alone, and replaces them with His peace and power. Lean into His strength today. Let go of the pressure to have it all figured out, or to appear strong when you feel anything but. God delights in being your refuge and fortress, your ever-present help in times of trouble. At your saddest, God is your comforter. Sadness can be an overwhelming emotion, often leaving us feeling isolated and misunderstood. But even in the depths of sorrow, God is near. He doesn't dismiss your pain or ask you to suppress your feelings. Instead, He sits with you in your grief, offering the comfort and healing that only He can provide. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Matthew 5 verse 4. God's comfort is not just a fleeting sensation, it's a profound assurance that you are not alone. He collects every tear you've shed and turns them into seeds of renewal and joy. The same God who wept at Lazarus' tomb understands the weight of your sadness and extends His arms to hold you close. Take time today to rest in His comforting presence. Speak to Him about your pain, your worries, and your fears. He listens with compassion and responds with love. The promise of God's presence. As you journey through the final weeks of this year, remember that God is with you every step of the way. He is not limited by time or circumstance, nor is he deterred by your doubts or fears. His love for you is constant, unwavering, and unshakable. No matter what this year has brought, victories, defeats, growth, or loss, God remains the same. He is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. As you prepare to step into a new year, carry this truth in your heart: God is for you, and His plans for your life are good. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. Matthew 28 verse 20. Today is a reminder that you are never alone. At your lowest, He is your hope. At your darkest, He is your light. At your weakest, He is your strength. And at your saddest, He is your comforter. Embrace His promises, lean on His presence, and trust in His unfailing love.